electric.
No, I'm totally smitten by this now. So Clubman was a nice little dream, but I think you've got to go with the future, and that's electric. So here we are.
Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday morning here. I was just about to do a live stream, but I realised that it would be a little difficult to do right at this very moment because Susan's preparing to go out. She's ready to go out on a road trip in the EGolf. She's off to another dog show. She's quite excited about the show itself. But the reason why I wanted to do this video was to share the transformation with Susan and how I think that's a really good example of how other people might transform their thoughts and ideas about electric cars. If you remember, I started with electric cars in 2018 with the Kona Electric. Susan's taken a lot longer to have her own electric car, which she does now. It's an EGolf. But it's been 4 years, and she's had a petrol Mini in between and a Renault Captur as well. So she's had a couple of cars that she's resisted going fully electric because of the usual things, but what if I want to go further? I don't want to charge. That was always the big one. She wants to get up and leave and go and get to where she's going and not have to charge. She doesn't want those delays. And that really has been the big thing stopping her going electric. But now we've got the EGolf, and now that we've been on a few journeys where we have charged, and she's actually enjoyed it. She's enjoyed doing the charging herself. She's become more competent with it. She understands how to look for chargers, understands how to make them work. And we've made it simple for her. We use InstaVolt chargers most of the time. We have an InstaVolt card that makes it easy. We also use the electric juice network or electric universe, whatever Octopus are calling it these days. I prefer the juice network. The universe thing just, I don't know, it doesn't stick with me. But we use the Octopus Juice Network card as well, and that allows us to use lots of chargers from lots of networks, but just the one card. And it all comes off our electricity bill, so that's why we really like it. We're in credit with Octopus Energy, so it's almost like charging for free, whatever the price is at the charger. Our favourite chargers on the Juice Network are Osprey. So, Susan is and has, for the last week or so, been saying, I'm really looking forward to the trip. I'm really looking forward to going on my own and charging on my own. She's looking forward to that challenge of, can I do it? How far will the car go? What's the range? What's my efficiency? All of those things. Again, Susan's a good example because she's not the sort of person that pays lots of attention to those things. I've had to keep asking her, what's your efficiency, what's the range? I've asked her to look. She wouldn't normally be interested at all. And I think she's a good example of the normal person. You just get in a car, you go for a drive, you don't think about petrol or diesel until the little gauge gets low, and then you fill up at the nearest station. You just don't think about it. It's automatic. And I've said that in a few videos before. A lot of the concern about going electric isn't real. It's because you're not familiar with it. It's not easy in a petrol or diesel car. We're just very, very familiar with it, and it's very, very easy once you are familiar. And Susan's now reached that point very, very quickly where she's actually genuinely smiling and happy. She's looking forward to going out in the electric car, the EGolf, beyond the range of the car, and she's not concerned about charging. She's excited by it. She knows from experience what miles per kilowatt hour she needs to get good range. We've had a discussion about the chargers and the locations of them. She's pre-programmed the postcodes of the potential chargers that she could use into the sat-nav. So it's all easy, it's all set up, it's all in her mind. She knows where the petrol station equivalents are. And that seems to have made a huge difference, that she's made that leap from a doubter. Oh, I can't get there. I don't want to charge. I must leave at exactly the right time. You know, the sort of person that constantly says, I can't slow down because I need to get there earlier. I'll lose work productivity if I don't get there early. And my time at home is so precious, I can't leave early either. They're just like a hamster running on a wheel, aren't they? Flat out, and they can't see that actually you could leave a little early. You could get up a little bit early, and it doesn't lose any productivity at all, arriving a little later. You use that calm, relaxed time, especially while charging, productively instead. So the reality is very different to the perception up front. And I think this example of Susan today, this is the first time where she's genuinely said, I'm looking forward to going off on my own in the electric car. I can do it. I'm looking forward to it. As much as the dog show that she's actually off to herself. So I thought I'd share that anyway. It is a really good example. I'm really pleased to see that Susan's made that transformation. And she's just loading the car up now, and it won't be many minutes and Cracker will be off. There she goes. So, where's she going and what's going on then? So at the moment the eGolf is fully charged, it's 100%, it says 125 miles range on it. I might just quickly try and get a picture to overlay of that before she leaves, if I get this video finished in time. It's about 7 or 8 degrees outside. It's cooler, it's colder than the weather forecast said it was going to be. Not quite a frost, but you know, it's very, I don't know, it's at that point between is it mild or is it chilly? And it's not damp, it's dry on the roads, it's bluish sky. It's going to be a half decent day. Wind is only about 15 miles an hour. So there shouldn't be any limitations on efficiency. It's not going to be summer efficient because we're starting off at 8-9 degrees Celsius, and it'll take probably the whole of the journey, the 95 miles to get there, before the battery is warmed up. So I wouldn't expect 5 miles per kilowatt hour, but I think she'll do better than 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour. So the range will probably be closer to what's actually on the car. The last trip she did in the Golf was 85 miles, and she got 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour, and that's why the Golf says 120, 125 miles. So if she gets more than 3.9 miles per kilowatt hour, she'll extend the range beyond the 120. But where she's going is only 95 miles away. She's only got to charge to get home. But the preference, of course, is it's daylight now, it's early now, charge now, because when she finishes and comes back, it'll be dark, it'll be the evening, she won't feel like charging. So all of those things come into play as to where to charge. So we've talked and looked at the charging locations, and there's 3 to choose from, 3 obvious ones. There's the Instavolt at Kings Lynn, which is 54 miles away, but it's 44 miles from the destination. So 44 miles to the destination and 44 miles back to that same charger to charge on the way back is 88 miles. That might leave a little less contingency than we like. So I've just lost track of what I was saying because Susan's literally leaving right now. Kings Lynn is the one she's most comfortable with. It's 54 miles away. We've used it 2 or 3 times now. She likes that charging location, but it's 54 miles away from home, but 44 miles from her destination where she's going. So 44 miles away and then 44 miles back to recharge a second time on the way home. Because of course she can't add the required kilowatt hours on the way out at the Kings Lynn charger because the battery wouldn't have depleted enough. It's not far enough away to charge up to make it a one charging stop, a one-stop pit stop like Formula One. So it's not perfect from that point of view. Going on further, there's a charger again that we're comfortable with and we use. There's a pair of chargers, an Osprey and an Instavolt at Boston. But that's too far out of the way in the wrong direction. She's going to Bourne in Lincolnshire. Boston's turning right, Bourne is turning left. So it's 5-6 miles, let's say, the wrong way, plus 5 or 6 miles to get back. It's adding a good 10 miles or so to the journey. So that one's slightly not right, even though she's comfortable with it. There's a charger she hasn't used before, and I've never seen or used before, at Pinchbeck Spalding. I think there's 3 Osprey chargers now, and I think it must be at the shopping centre at Pinchbeck, the retail park. And that's an ideal place. It's well lit, it's people around, there's facilities there, it's Osprey, so it'll be working when you get there. That's a really good choice, but that's not on the road she prefers to go on. It's on a more detoured, slightly less fast road, so it's a slightly slower trip, slightly more awkward, bumpy roads perhaps to go on. Rural Lincolnshire is not the nicest place with all those drains to go alongside the edge. If you've driven there, you'll know what it's like. No barriers, no barricades, just a 10-foot drop into a canal-like drain area. So Lincolnshire's not the best sort of area to go off-route, really, unless you're really, really familiar with it. But anyway, that charging location is, what was it? It was more like 80 miles into the journey. And there goes Susan, she's gone. 80 miles into the journey, and that only left 15 to get there. So 15 miles plus 15 miles is 30 miles. She might have enough charge in there, one to get back to Kings Lynn, but Necton on the A47 as well is another contingency. So by going further into the journey and charging at Pinchbeck Spalding, she'll have more charge on the way back to have more options for where to charge. But I spotted when I was looking at a better route planner that there is a charger at Bourne itself. There is an Osprey charger there, but it's only got one bay, the Sugar Mill pub, and that is only 5 miles from her destination. So that would be the perfect destination to go the furthest into her journey. I think it's about 92 miles to get there. So the Golf will be lower state of charge when she arrives, but she'll be able to fill it up. And if she gets it almost full, if she spends the extra time in the morning, she won't have to charge on the way back, or the amount of contingency she'll have will be so much that, you know, she could charge at Kings Lynn, Necton, Dereham, even Norwich, you know, even GridServe, which is only 3 miles away from us, the GridServe hub in Norwich. That could become a contingency if the state of charge got so low that she just needed a couple more kilowatt hours. So it's going to be really interesting as to where she chooses to stop, because I honestly, genuinely do not know which one she's going to choose. My guess is that she's going to do multiple. My guess is she's going to go the complete reverse from having to get there to spending more time charging. I think she'll stop at Kings Lynn because she likes it and she's comfortable with it, and that would give her enough to get back to Kings Lynn on the way back. But then she'll also stop at one of the other 2 chargers, 1 for the experience, but 2 to top up so much that it gives her much more contingency on the way back, and might, if she's really economical, might get her home with only the 1 charge. So going further into the journey and charging further in creates the risk of, what if I get there and it's busy and I have to go somewhere else and I'm off piste and it's wasted time and just all that hassle. So it plays on your mind, the what ifs. Whereas if you've charged earlier, the what ifs are, will you just move on and charge at the next one? So it's going to be really interesting to see what she actually does. I hope she gets that second charge at one of the Ospreys in Bourne or Pinchbeck Spalding, so that she can try to get home, because that's what I'd do. I'd want to say, come on, I can do it. I can just slow down a little bit and I can get the efficiency and I can get home without charging. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that trip with you, share what's going on, and that transformation in Susan, that she's now off and she's probably going to charge twice today, and she's looking forward to it. And I would use that as an example. If you're that petrol head that doesn't want to slow down, that doesn't want to leave early, that can't charge because you just haven't got the time to do it, then please listen that it is just an illusion. When you've got an electric car, you do change and it does become normal practice. And it's not so bad. In fact, all the benefits of the electric car driving make up for that change that you have to go through. And you'll look back thinking, I really don't know why I used to rush around all the time and think I had to leave at the exact minute and drive at 70 miles an hour. Driving an EV just helps you become a better driver and have a more relaxed lifestyle as well. It really does make sense. Anyway, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. More electric car videos and home batteries and solar panels, all that great stuff. Take care, have a great weekend, everyone. See you again soon. Bye for now. And in that time, while I've been doing the video, she's already gone past Dereham, past Necton, and heading towards Kings Lynn. So it won't be long now, and I'll find out, will she or won't she stop at Kings Lynn? Take care, see you again soon, more videos.